When we're no longer able to change a situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. That's a quote from Viktor Frankl, an Austrian Holocaust survivor, neurologist, psychiatrist and author. He went on to say, live as if you were living a second time and as though you'd acted wrongly the first time. He died in 1997, but his insight seems very relevant to where we are today, wanting to say post-pandemic, but in truth still stuck right in the middle of it. A lot of us have been hoping for a return to where we were, looking for the familiar and not finding it yet. We're resilient, robust, strong, brave, creative, but we're also running out of steam, becoming weary and exhausted. On Thursday night last, after 7 online meetings on 4 different platforms, followed by a 2-hour night class, I tried to sit and eat some food, and bang, a wave of anxiety washed over me. I didn't see it coming. I was doing fine, I thought. Hey, I teach this resilient stuff. A sense of panic and anxiety gripped my stomach, shut down my throat. I couldn't swallow. I wasn't choking, but I knew that any attempt to eat might be a challenge. I found myself right in the middle of a good old-fashioned stress reaction. A sympathetic-parasympathetic battle was raging, triggered by my perception of what was going on around me. Fight, flight, freeze, and fragmenting. Dr. Walter Bradford Cannon back in 1915 developed that theory and could have used me as a case study. 20 years of teaching resilience and stress management, and here I am being reminded I'm only human. How disappointing to discover that. So here I am on a Saturday. The sun is shining. The anxiety has receded. I'm reset, I think, recalibrating and feeling even more empathy for people who, like me, are admitting to being tired, emotional and banjaxed. But where are we going to go from here? We seem to have crossed that threshold of time where we could call on our own resources to stay calm. Experts are losing their impact as well. Just how many meditation sessions can you listen to on your phone before you feel like throwing it across the room? I previously talked about the Phoenix curve, that cycle we have to go through when faced with trauma. The latter 2 parts of that curve have been denied to us so far, equilibrium and transformation. Achieving stability and rethinking our purpose in life is the reward for going through the trauma in the first place. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could somehow, instead of waiting for certainty, start to create some of our own, or at least be given some by those who lead us? I was talking to someone the other day who is in that somewhat familiar situation many are in, working from home. They're doing their best, having moved from the novelty of a shorter commute and ready access to the fridge to a point now where it feels like they live at work rather than work at home. Their management team isn't helping either. They're doing their best, I suppose, with regular meetings online, but these are now tedious affairs with stony silence when the group is asked are there any questions. Cameras are often left off, and bit by bit, people are withdrawing from their contract of employment. You know that piece of paper that states how many hours you're required to work, where and doing what, etc.? It requires your physical presence, your intellectual application, and very often that catch-all clause that says all other duties as required by the management. But there's another part to that contract that's rarely spoken about. It's the emotional contract, that unwritten agreement you have with your employer to be engaged, motivated, led, developed, and even possibly led to an experience of joy in your work. Yes, I did say joy. Some managers and leaders have to step up now. They may have gotten their people remote access, and they've kept a supply of work going for those they haven't furloughed. But there's a deficit for some in the emotional support they're providing. I'm not talking about delivering online wellness sessions. Well-intentioned as they are, they're not going to match the requirements we have as human beings for meaning in what we do. Leaders need to start telling their teams why they're doing what they're doing. There's an urgent need to stop the heart-sink online meetings where more than ever it's possible to hide, and hide we will if we can't see the point in engaging. These are testing times, testing for those without work or the prospect of it. It's also a testing time for those in work where their emotional contract has been defaulted on. I'm off for a walk. I have 24 hours before my next Zoom, Teams, Skype or Blue Jeans call. Hopefully, none of them will be a meeting about a meeting. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to share this and subscribe to get an update on new episodes.